Alrighty guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of Carbines and Cantrips Book Club. We are starting a brand new book this week, which is The Hand of God, which is book 1 in the Dark Legacies series by Yuval Kordov. This is the second thing of his I've read. Have you guys read any of his other work?
No, I haven't. This is new to me.
Okay.
First time I've ever even heard of the man was when you said, "Hey, let's read this."
Gotcha. So I've read one other thing of his, and it's a novella called Orders of Magnitude, which is like Space Marines go to the moon with an exorcist, and yeah, it's pretty rad. It's a little bit more straight. What's that?
I'm gonna read that now. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It's like 100 pages. It's a little novella. It's a good read, man. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it's a little more straightforward. This one's a little bit more mind effing, trippy visions and stuff. That's just more. I gotta be faithful to God and go kill some demons or heretics or whatever. Mallory Childers says, "Hi, Erwan, like the new intro song." Yeah, that last week's was I accidentally switched out the song and forgot about it, and so it was like a sleepy piano for my interview with Robert. I can't remember how to say his last name. Cruz. So I switched it out today. I was like, I can't have that going on again. But thank you. And Yuval, he's actually coming on next week, so we'll have him to chat with as well. But I think he does a lot of. I don't know if he's like a member, but he might be like a founding member of this Substack called Incense Punk Magazine. So I think a lot of his stuff is kind of in that subgenre. A lot of it has to do with like faith in futuristic settings, which is rad. But yeah, how'd you guys like the first 52-ish pages? Me and Tyler are kind of talking about it first. Oh yeah, by the way, T.E. Butcher, or Tyler, as his mom calls him, he's joining us for this book. You're gonna be here for the whole book, or?
Yeah, I'll be here for the whole book.
Sweet. So yeah, but yeah, what'd you guys think of this book so far? Just like 1,000-foot view.
Yeah, the beginning had me, like you said, a bit of a mind effort.
Yeah.
I kind of need to take a break every now and then, because some of the mind effness, some of it was just how bleak it was.
Yeah.
Because it is the end of the world through the eyes of a child. And damn, that's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Really. Go ahead, sorry, bud.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say this. It is rough. The start of this book's rough. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Yeah. You've been warned.
Yeah,
Everybody knows.
That's not to say like roughly written or like rough like to read like quality writing wise. It's very well written. The content itself is very heavy.
Yeah. Very sad.
Absolutely.
And somber. I honestly, it kind of reminded me of like anime with some like how trippy some of the stuff was. Like especially, we'll get into it a little bit later, but like that one scene where like the spire, the octagonal spires are like shooting out of the ground and all this trippiness is going on. I don't know, it reminded me of some like really weird anime scenes that I've seen.
Yeah, well, and her dreaming doesn't.
Help.
I say doesn't help. It's not a bad thing, but it doesn't help with the. I'm trying to find the right way to put this. There's a difference between having a story where reality is distorted and having a story where the reader feels the distortions of reality. And the dream aspects almost make it difficult to ride that line. So there's sometimes where it's almost hard for you as the reader to know where you are, not just the characters experiencing the story, or character in this case.
Yeah, I found that to be the case at first, but then I felt like as I read more, I kind of like got the rhythm of like when was like the concrete like in her shoes versus like when she was tripping. But yeah, at first it was a little disorienting, and then when I read it twice, I went back and read it again, and it made a lot more sense because I could tell like where she was at mentally or physically, whatever, in the book or in the world story, whatever. I, I feel like by the end of this page range, I'm wondering, because obviously her name's Esther, and I'm seeing some parallels like with her story and like the story of Esther in the Bible. She's like a young orphan girl tasked with something she's afraid to do in order to save her people. I guess in this case the angel kind of takes the place of Mordecai, but I don't know if he meant to do that. I mean, he named her Esther, so I'm assuming there's some kind of connection.
There's a reason.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we can start with the prologue. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I've been trying to think as I was reading the story, like what exactly the prologue, like how the rest of the story so far connects to the prologue. And basically, I just have like guesses. I can't even call it a dream because I don't even know if it's her dream. It's just a really weird, trippy. And then there was light, kind of creationism story. With lots of pain. Yeah, lots of pain, and then like a version of this thing becomes self-aware. It knows that it's a female, and that there's a bunch of different like not versions of itself, but I guess it's siblings that have gone through the same thing she has and failed and died, but she is like the first one that's living. So she wasn't the first, but she's going to be the last. So I don't know. At this point I have no idea how that ties into the rest of the story, but
it'll probably become more clear as we read.
Yeah.
What I can say so far is it definitely sets you up for lots of trippy language, lots of mind effort stuff, but also pain.
Yeah. But also pain. Yeah. It's not a comfortable place to be living.
No, I feel like I need a Revelation cracked open next to my Kindle so I can reference.
For sure.
It did lay good groundwork for the, like you said, there's a lot of, I don't want to say biblical parallel, but there's a lot of biblical theme.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot, like her name, but not just that, like she sees things and has to figure out if they're angel or demon.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff like that. And that's always a fun theme, I think, to play with in any fiction, or to see in any fiction, is that angels and demons biblically are the same species.
Yeah.
And so figuring out which is which can actually be difficult.
Yeah, when we do get to the part, I think it was the last section or second to last section where we see them contrasted. They definitely don't look the same in that part of the books, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Yeah, this prologue, I was kind of wondering, is it like just a very, I don't know, artistic way of describing like a womb, and like a baby growing in a womb, and because I guess nobody really knows what a baby feels like when its body is forming. Maybe it hurts really bad for your body to form into itself. I have no idea. So I didn't know if it was like that, but then there was like all the sister things and like the self-awareness. So I was like, maybe it's just like it's kind of playing with a womb theme, but not really. I don't know. Trippy, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it ties into the rest of the book.
It could be one of those like vision things, or like I'm trying to think of it's like Dune when his sister isn't born yet, but still like is psychic and communicates with him.
Yeah. This is why you don't drink the worm juice when you're pregnant, dude.
Worm juice, not even once.
Yeah. She definitely did not consult her gynecologist, or her OB, I guess. Yeah, so that's the prologue. Just really trippy, vision-esque kind of. Well, I don't know if it's a vision. It's just like a description of a creationist kind of scene. Anyway, so we get into Esther 1:1. So the chapters aren't like chapter 1, chapter 2. It's like Esther 1:1 and then Esther 1:2. And I think it's Esther 1:4 is the last of the. So maybe the chapters are split into sections, I guess, kind of like the Bible. So the first chapter is 4 sections, and then chapter 2. For this page range this week, we read from chapter 2:1 to 2:8, basically. So yeah, 1:1. Yeah, we get introduced to Esther. She starts off like in a ruined house. It's gross, but it's cozy because it has 4 walls, no roof, and a mattress that is dry enough to sleep on. And most of the other houses she describes in the neighborhood don't have any walls. Some of them probably have dead people in them. So we like right out of the bat, we know it's probably like it's an apocalypse or a post-apocalypse setting. We see that it's snowing in the summertime. The clouds are orange. She has patchy hair. So yeah, for me, I mean, at this point, I was like, oh, it's definitely like a, obviously a nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys have anything you wanted to comment about in that first little introduction there, or I can just run through this first?
It does really set the tone for how miserable this first chapter is going to be for Esther.
Yeah.
Very few, if anything, good happens to her in this first
Yeah, dude.
chapter.
Yeah, it's like a very sad contrast of like this sweet little girl. She's holding a toy cat that she calls Gray Cat, and she's like imagining skunks in yellow tutus dancing around her, wishing her happy birthday and New Year. And it's like set against this like super bleak. She's all alone. It's a ruined landscape. She's sleeping on a gross mattress in an abandoned house with no roof, and it's snowing in the summertime. It's like a nightmare. And yeah, it kind of goes into pretty quickly that she's very lonely. She misses her family. She misses just anyone, like to the point where she's talking about like how the wind used to scare her because it's windy. She hears the wind howling, which she says used to scare her, but it doesn't anymore. But when it used to scare her, she would picture like a wolf or some furry creature coming down the chimney or through a window. And now she's like, I kind of wish it would, so I have someone to hang out with, which is super sad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I had to take a break when I came to the end of like every section. I was like, okay, I'll go read Spaceship in the Stone for a little bit, or I'll go read this other thing for a little bit. Like, that guy's life sucks, but not as bad as this little girl.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it just gets worse and worse. Yeah, it's not. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe it turns around as she hangs out with the angel more. I don't know. Hopefully. Yeah, I also felt like. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
It also kind of
I read forward.
What's that?
Okay. Alright, no, I was going to say, it also kind of soured my perspective of the protagonist in Spaceship the Stone. Because I'm like, quick rapid, you pansy. There's a little girl living through a nuclear apocalypse. Or the biblical end of the world. Or something. I'm not entirely sure. But you can man up and quit complaining that you got handed an awesome spaceship. Whoa, your life is so bad.
What book is that?
Spaceship in the Stone.
Spaceship in the Stone? I'll check that one out.
What if someone pulled the sword from the stone, but the sword is actually a spaceship?
Rad.
That's literally the book.
I like that. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of like, is she in this post-apocalyptic Earth, or is she like in a completely different dimension? Because there's no stars. Like the day and the night routines are all deteriorating. Like the timing's not where it should be. The moon phase is like petering out.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's actually mentioned in Revelation. So I'd have to look up the specific verse. But it said like the stars would be struck from the sky and like they would fall to Earth.
Yeah.
The moon would cease to exist, and like creation would unravel before being remade.
Yeah, I think it was after her last vision from what the range we reread. She like woke up and she's like, "Where the fuck is the moon?" Yeah, dude. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like really building her up as like she's alone. She's trying desperately to hold on to her memories, like where she won't even. Like there's this part later on where she describes all the books she has, and she has a bunch of children's books, and she doesn't want to read them out loud. She doesn't want to speak because she doesn't want to like erase her father's, the memory of her father's voice, so she doesn't actually speak the words out loud. Very, very freaking sad.
Yeah, it's like somebody needs to check on Yuval and give that man a hug. Like, holy shit!
Yeah, dude. I know. Even like just like. Yeah. And like even her just saying she's not afraid of the wind anymore. I feel like that's just like her. It's like a description of her innocence kind of dying. She's like, yeah, fuck it. It doesn't scare me anymore. It scared me when I was a stupid child. That scared me, but now I'm still a child. But I gotta figure shit out. And she's always hungry, wouldn't you know? Scavenging canned foods out of abandoned homes. Most of the food is rotten and stinky. There's dead people.
Or the people inside are.
Yeah.
Something's rotten and stinky in there.
Yeah. So she like avoids the stinky houses if they're too stinky, obviously. Yeah, she misses sister. I with that. Oh, her backpack, dude. The backpack thing was like, that's too much, dude. So she has this little kid backpack with like a little star patch on it with a bunch of what are they, like red and clear or red and white sequins on them, and they're like slowly falling off. And then she picks them up and saves them in a little baggie. So she's like, maybe I can fix my broken heart. That's something my mommy would have said. Like, oh God. Yeah, very sad, dude. Yeah, I don't know. What did I write about that? It's sad as the heart slowly fades. So, as her heart, yeah, I think so. I kind of correlated to like maybe as the heart slowly fades, maybe that's also like I don't know, a parallel to like her memory of her family fading, and everything kind of just disappearing as time goes on, and she's all alone. Very sad. I will say I got super. I don't know. I feel like things changed a little bit for me once she started describing some of the monsters, and then her whole trip down to the creek, and then the vision she had. We'll get to that later, I guess. Okay, so Esther. That's pretty much Esther 1:1. Is her just in that cozy house that she calls it, doesn't have a roof, and she's talking about being hungry and kind of going over some of this stuff. Esther 1:2, she leaves looking for food. She's playing hopscotch on the sidewalk as she goes because she's a little girl. I think wasn't she like I think there's like nuclear ash on the ground or snow or whatever. So she's hopping through radioactive snow. Yeah, ash.
Well, and she notes that like she has to do it that way and walk a certain way because when she didn't walk a certain way, bad stuff happened.
Yeah, she had to be quieter. Yeah, when she would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. Yeah. And so like she kind of like I think this is when she kind of talks about walking, and then she thinks back to like time before the end of the world, and like she would think about like her parents watching the news and how people weren't going outside anymore, and the transit drones have kind of stopped going, and then she sees the military convoy roll through. She sees that mech, which that mech was like, dude, that mech was like. It reminded me of like the T-Rex scene in Jurassic Park where he's like the water shake. It was like very monstrous sounding. I was like, ooh, what is this, a monster? And it was a mech, but still felt like a monster.
Yeah, I mean, two little girls, something like that big would be absolutely monstrous. Like,
yeah,
I don't think we get it up. Someone in UTech did a short story about playing Wolf's Invasion. It's one of their first targets. It was from the eyes of a child, and like to a small child, yeah, mechs fighting each other or like shooting people in general would be horrifying.
Yeah, dude.
It's this thing that's almost too big for you to comprehend, and it's just like out to kill things. It's just destructive, and you don't know what's going on. Like thunder's scary. This thing's like a million thunderstorms.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. The also, like, there's like this connection. I feel like because she said her dad like helped design him, and so like I don't know, like
kind of cool.
Yeah, like I don't know if is that gonna come into play. Like, there's like I don't know, this weird later on, like when we get to the part where her body's like trying to, I don't know if she's gonna merge with these things, because in the vision she keeps like becoming one with like the mech and then the missile. So I don't know what's going on, dude. I don't know what the angel expects from this little girl.
Well, and we know she's super smart. Once we get a little further in, because she's like reading the encyclopedia and technical manuals, and she's not dead yet. And like years later, hey, Esther's not dead. She's clearly not an idiot. Yeah, it's been 6 years since the when we get to the point where it's like her current day. It's been 6 years since the end of the world. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, she sees this military convoy go through. There's a mech that she sees, and her dad at some point, I think it's that same night, her dad comes like bursting through the doors like, it's time to go. But yeah, she gives us like this like lead up to the end of the world, and from her perspective it's like, oh, my parents I can hear them late at night watching the news, and mom's like, it's gonna be okay, they'll figure it out, and he'll be like, should we go somewhere? And her mom's like, where the fuck are we gonna go? So yeah,
that makes me super curious as to what was on the news. Like,
I don't know.
What was? Because that's like so disturbing. Because it's like the implication is like nowhere on the planet would have been safe.
Yeah, and like everything.
Also, like, what were the military gonna go do? Like, were they going to fight the city? Like, where were they going?
I don't know.
Why'd they leave their mech behind?
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know, but yeah, it's awesome train of thought. Sorry. Go ahead. One of you guys.
Sorry.
You're good.
Well,
I do it all the time.
And I'll add this at this point. Like, talking about that and seeing that set up and the feeling of the biblical parallel and the feeling of the angels and demons.
Oh, did you freeze, dude?
Yeah.
I think you froze. Oh no! Oh, okay.
Oh,
He'll hop back in. It happens sometimes. I don't think he gets very good connection in the mountains up there.
There it is.
All right.
Yeah.
So the last thing I heard you say was demons and angels.
Yeah. So, but with all between all those things going on, her visions, the demons and angels, everything like that, this book does not feel like sci-fi. Like,
no.
It feels very much like a super dark fantasy at this point.
Yeah.
And I find that interesting because when I saw the cover, I didn't read the blurb. I just was like, okay, cool, we're reading this one. So I didn't need to read the preview or anything like that. And I just like why. It was like, cool, we're reading the mech story. And I was like, holy crap, this is not a mech.
Not yet. I think we're getting there.
I'm a classic mech nerd. You sucker me in with that, and then I get girl apocalypse misery story.
I didn't know. I thought the cover looked cool. I was like, I don't get this book, and I really liked Orders of Magnitude. So I was like, this one's gotta be, great too. I'm feeling like she's gonna become a mech pilot and go kill demons. That's my hypothesis. My guess.
That's what I'm rooting for.
Yeah, that'd be rad. I'm sure.
The early misery worth it.
Yeah, 100%. I think it happens in a later chapter, but speaking of like all the religion, there's this little part where she's talking about her prayers and like how her mom told her she had to keep them private, and that she would explain why when she got older. So there's obviously something going on with like maybe the government is outlawed religion. I don't know.
That would be perfect irony if they outlawed religion and then God said, "I'm killing your government."
Everybody's cursed.
We outlawed religion, and then everything got blown up, and the demons invaded.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We tried to outlaw God, and he immediately retaliated.
Oh man. Oh yeah. So Esther 1-2. Yeah. So she keeps going on. She kind of does a quick flashback to that where she sees the stuff, and then she's continuing on being hungry. It sucks. It's no fun. Although the one advantage is when she's hungry, she's not gonna have to poop, so then she'll stay clean a little bit longer. So may know that. But yeah, we see more of the ruined world, like ruined cars, burnt tree stumps, and I think like little magpies that were like melted down into the branches or something. Just brutal. Yeah. So yeah, I think we talked. I put a note in here for see the end of the world through the eyes of a child. But I think we've kind of talked about that thoroughly. I did notice that when she opens up her chest of toys, she has like capes and swords and masks, and she has night vision binoculars. So I don't know if it's kind of giving her like this adventurous, like brave, mystique or characteristic or whatever. I like that. And then yeah, her dad designed them, so there's some kind of connection going on there. So that's basically everything we learn in Esther 1-2. Military showed up. She's hungry. Yeah.
I'm gonna slight prediction. Her dad put some like backdoor subroutine that like in case of the end of the world, all of you giant robots are gonna protect my daughter.
Just the one though. The other one, she's toast.
No.
Look, I have favorites.
I know she ain't gonna make it through the bombs anyway.
No, that's what I'm saying. What made that so bad was the toast.
No. Her mom's like, God, just protect my own daughter. And the husband's like, my giant robots will protect her. So, I mean, really, other than the starvation, she's in pretty good hands.
Yeah. Once she finds the freaking thing, if she does, I don't know where it's going, but I hope she finds a big robot to kill demons with.
Yeah, I mean, that's the ideal.
Yeah, that's always good to see. Yeah, so then in Esther 1:3, a lot of her memory we learned that a lot of her memory after the explosion, the initial, doomsday event, basically has been erased, so she doesn't remember a lot. She doesn't know how she survived.
Yeah, and like, a child wouldn't remember that. Like,
Yeah.
not, like, willing recall. Like, your mind would just block that out.
Yeah, like a trauma response or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then in her, as she's adventuring off, it's the reason she left the cozy house, so she's hungry. She needed to get food. So she was hopscotching down the sidewalk and comes to a mall that is like obliterated. It's still standing, but the windows are all blown out. There's like piles of rubble that she's gonna have to climb over to get inside the mall. There's cars in the parking lot. There's dead bodies everywhere, like charred corpses. As she's going through, she's trying super hard not to look at the corpses because, one, she doesn't want to see someone that she might recognize. Because again, she's got the thing where she's trying to like hold on to the past, and it's very sad because if she sees a dead person that she recognizes, she says it's gonna like make it hard for her to pretend like this isn't real, and then she won't be able to wake up from the nightmare, which is again very sad. He definitely sets a tone early in the book, dude.
Yeah, no, the beginning of the book's brutal, and it's very well written.
Yeah.
But I could imagine that the content itself probably made more than one person like bow out.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess,
the first two chapters are like the great filter for this work.
yeah. Oh man, yeah. So then she makes it through the parking lot, past all the dead bodies, doesn't get spooked or doesn't see anything that makes her freak out. Climbs up over a little heap of rubble, gets inside, starts looking for some supplies, and she's so distracted that she doesn't hear somebody come up behind her. She ends up pissing her pants, and I'm fairly certain that she gets like sexually assaulted here. Because like there's a description of the person like repositioning themselves. There's like hot breath or something on the back of her shoulders or her neck, and then she hears like the sound of a zipper. But then like she's like, "God help me," and then a voice says, "I'm always with you," I think is what it says. And like it's very, I don't know if it's like if it intervened and stopped the thing from happening, or if it just like kind of put her in a little like mental cocoon, so she like tuned it out. Kind of thing, because she wakes up from it and like nobody's there, and there's like some canned food and toilet paper behind her, and that's it. So, what do you guys think about that scene?
I was for whatever reason, even with the hot breath thing, I thought she was being attacked by like an android or something. Like a robot, like a smaller version of the back. For whatever reason, I don't know where I got that.
I mean, there definitely are sex bots. That's like her next place she lives is the sex bot factory. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe because like later, then she feels coldness on her shoulder. So I don't know exactly where the heat and the cold, because she's not. I don't think she says like it was a guy breathing on me. She just says there was like hot. I think she might say breath once, but I don't know. What do you think?
I feel like it's one of the. There's several points in the story where we're not really meant to know what happened.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is one of those points, because from our POV character's perspective, she doesn't even know what happened.
Yeah.
She doesn't know if it was a person, if it was a mutant that hadn't yet become too crazy.
Yeah.
All she knows is somebody tells her freeze. She goes through this weird freak out, sensory perception overload, tons of fear, wets herself, and then there's food and supplies like just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have no idea what happened to her. She doesn't either, and that would just put a capstone on the darkness of this if your theory's correct.
I think it is, because like later on when we see her in her current day, like she's like, I don't go back to the grocery store because of the brutal lesson that I learned. I'm like, oh, that sounds not good. Like maybe she remembers it, but she just blocks so much of it out. Because there's a lot in this story where she's like she won't look at the monster, she won't look at the corpses. So she's trying to like she knows it's there, but she blocks it out, so it's not real to her. So I wonder if this event is kind of just like her not wanting to look at the monsters.
Right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, brutal as hell. But I like that he kind of showed her connection with God, like kind of building her faith, and that God has taken. I mean, I get takes special interest in everybody, but like God is, taking a special interest in this girl in this case. Even though whatever happened, he at least stepped in and tried to shield her in some way, and then gave her canned food and toilet paper. I guess I don't know who gave that to her, but I'm assuming it was God.
My head, a big robot came and crushed her attacker's windpipe and then left her canned food and toilet paper.
That happened off screen. We just didn't see it. But yeah, dude. And she comes to you, gets the canned food, toilet paper, breaks down crying for the world, for her planet, for her family, and most of all for herself. Yeah, dude. Yeah. The kid thing is really it's brutal, man. Then Esther 1. I think the whole Esther first chapter with her is basically all her as this little girl. But I feel like even that part, because then when chapter 2 starts, it's her as like a full grown girl. I don't know if it starts that way. Yeah, so chapter 2. She like wakes up, and I'm wondering if everything before that was just her kind of remembering it while she was asleep. And now once we get to the point where she wakes up on her cot in the sex bot factory closet, that's losing everybody. Tyler Hop fell off.
Oh no.
I'm wondering if that's kind of like this is where her story is actually not starting, obviously, but like this is where the story kind of starts from.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Definitely has that feeling.
Yeah. Hopefully Tyler can come back in. There he goes. Hey, dude.
There we go.
Yeah, dude.
Just a random half crash on me.
Yeah. It does that. So then Esther 1:4. Some of these are really short. This is why I do a page range, because the first book I did on my book club was Bad Dog by Ashley Pollard, and I did we'll do the first 3 chapters, and they were crazy short. So I just do like 50 pages. So Esther 1:4. This is the end of the first chapter. She's back at Cozy House. Some critter gnawed on her mattress. Oh, of course it did. She's getting ready to eat, and then she starts to hear like screaming, and then she starts screaming, and then she starts to trip balls, and then she sees an angel in the room with her, and the angel, is like, does this smell like chloroform? Puts her to sleep. She falls asleep. The angel then says, "There's work to be done," and I'm wondering, I don't know. First of all, the angel I think looks pretty freaking cool with his like straight up black eyes, porcelain skin, and the fire halo. That's dope. I don't know. I wonder if that there's work to be done. So it kind of seems like maybe she's like a chosen, and I'm wondering maybe if that's kind of linking back a little bit to the prologue of I don't know, dude. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with that prologue. It's very mysterious.
Yeah, for sure. I read ahead a little bit. I'm not going to spoil anything and talk past where we got to, but I will say that I think we literally stopped right before we start getting answers.
Oh, okay. I know. I was almost like, should I just do the whole Esther and then but I was like, that's like 80 pages, I think. So yeah. I guess we'll get answers next week. I mean, you already got your answers, but yeah, I guess we'll.
Oh no, I really don't have that many. I think that the end of 2 is 3 is where you really start getting answers. So I read to the end of 2.
Oh, okay.
And 3 is where we really start figuring out what's going on. And but in general, to tiniest of spoilers from what we've read so far, no, Esther's life does not get any easier.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
I feel less miserable about it since she's like a grown woman now.
Oh, she's like a teenager, I think.
Yeah, well,
But she's not a child.
Yeah, she's not a small child.
She's getting her monthlies, so. Or is she? I don't know. Maybe the radiation knocked those out.
Well, she mentions that barely.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, so the Esther 2 opens up. She's having a dream where she's like, she is a mech stomping through this gray void, or this landscape that's just grayness stretching out in every direction as far as she can see. But her eyes are closed, but she can like see outside of herself. Oh, hey, dude, Yuval's in the chat. Gothbricks 2000. What's going on, man?
Hey.
Yo. Yeah, and then like the mech, she kind of comes out of the mech, and the mech, she tries to hand the mech her cat, and the mech like squats down and tries to grab it, but it's like, oh, I got no arms, I just got guns. So you can't grab the cat. And so then it fires off a missile because he's pissed he didn't get the cat. But I'm just ad-libbing that part. But he does fire off a missile once the cat thing doesn't go through. And she, I don't know, like sheds her skin or her body on the ground and shoots off in spirit form to possess the missile. Does that sound about right? Yeah, it becomes one with the missile.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a wild thing.
Well, and then she starts.
Very confusing.
Yeah, and then she starts like screaming towards this. It's like a cityscape, right? It's like a ruined city that has like arms and legs and mouths coming out of all the streets and buildings and orifices. Very weird. I don't know if it's like, he said like there's like a wave of these things crashing into the cities and stuff. I'm like, it's just so trippy. It's like some Inception level stuff, dude. Yeah, and then she gets into the city. She's trying to like deter or like deactivate the missile. And then all of a sudden this weird black octagonal spires come shooting out of the ground, and they're like porous, and like in each little hole there's like an angel on the balcony or the terrace or whatever, with it's like their hands are cupped to the void, which I assume means the sky because there's no stars. And I can't, she's like wowed by the angels, that she like gets distracted and like comes out of the missile, and now she's like afraid because now she like feels like she's brought the missile to this place because she thinks like the spire, the cathedral, whatever, is beautiful, the angels are beautiful, and now she feels guilty that she brought this missile in. And there's a bunch of black robed people like along the lines of the octagon, and when they look up at her, there's like old people, young people, but they all have her face. Yeah, and then the sky explodes. I think that's the end of the dream. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that. What do you guys think of that? That was trippy.
Yeah, that was trippy. I have no idea if that's like a vision, or like if it's like, I don't know, like actual biblical prophecy. I don't know what's supposed to be literal or what is like symbolic.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I've read Revelations, but I'm not like a scholar on it. I couldn't quote it to you right now. I know there's some lot of really crazy imagery and symbolism in the book, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like with the angels holding their hands up to the void, I'm like, are they like, I don't know, like worshiping it or like waiting for something to be given to them, and then the sky explodes? Because later on we hear that like the angel tells her that their soul's trapped in that gross demon, and it's like they're being punished for destroying the world. So like, are they waiting for the end of the world, basically? Like they're excited they're glad to receive it and bestow justice upon mankind. As far as the black road people go,
they're not like pumping worship, they're like trying to catch the missile.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe.
Playing hot potato.
Yeah, hot potato. Yeah, dude. And as far as the black row people, I don't really know what to make of that, with all their faces and looking like hers. We'll see how it plays out, I guess.
A symbolism thing. It could be clones. Like, I don't know, man.
This is definitely a book I feel like that is good for rereads. Like, you can go back there and catch all these little things. I don't reread a lot of books, but this might be one of them.
I feel like there's this line of thought when it comes to like biblical prophecy are stuff that hasn't happened yet, like Revelations, where because like the prophecies of the Old Testament couldn't be understood until they already happened,
Yeah.
and even then not everyone understands them, that like we're really not going to understand Revelations until we're past that point in history.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
I
sense.
feel like after I read book 3, I'm going to come back to this and be like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do feel like this is a
That's
fast
what
read.
The cat was for.
I feel like reading through 52 pages was like real quick in this book. It flows really well.
yeah, it's faster you don't stop to read a different book, because you can only take so much of little girl losing her hair in the apocalypse.
Yeah, and her fingernails.
Yeah, like it has to eat cardboard.
Yeah. I'm also like, again, like since her dad designed the mech, now she's having visions of her like as the mech. And then like the angel's like, you have work to do, only you can, save them, redeem them. I'm like, what is she gonna be like? I don't know. Is Lawnmower the Man where the guy he can like control machines and stuff, or is it just computers? I haven't seen that movie in forever, so I don't remember. But
Oh, is it I haven't.
basically, she's just gonna be able to
Machines.
machines. Yeah. Basically, is she gonna be able to just control these robots, these mechs with her mind, or meld with them, or something, or just be a pilot? I don't even know. But I hope she gets in. I hope she gets into mech. Yeah.
In the robot.
I know, dude. I should have just finished. I should be like, well, because I couldn't tell. Like, I thought that 1-1 was like a chapter. I didn't realize they were like sections to the chapter. Now that I realized that, I should have just finished 2. But oh well. Next time. No, for next time. Yeah. So then we go into Esther 2:2. Then she wakes up. Now we're at her present day, where she's like a teenager. She's older. She's got a motorcycle. It's like an e-bike, 2-wheel drive. That's pretty dope. She's living she sleeps in a closet. She lives in a factory. She calls it a workshop, but it's like a factory that makes robotics. So it's like humanoid-looking robots and cat robots, and the humanoid robots got like huge dongs and boobs, and they're like sex robots. And when she first gets there, it's like she's like, it's creepy because there's like all these human-looking parts, right? So it's just like even creepier. This little girl shows up. She finds a place to live, but it's covered in all these like artificial human parts. Yeah, dude. Just everything about this girl's life is so sad. And then she talks about like, yeah, she stays away from the city. She stays away from the grocery store. She stays away from the subdivision. And then, but she does sometimes see people, right? So families will come by, and she'll be watching them with her night vision binos as they're scavenging, and then she'll like have little conversations with them, like just with herself, to like appease the loneliness. It's so sad, dude. And then, or the other time, she's revolted because the others show up and rip the families to pieces.
Yeah, the radiation ghouls come running out. And
That's what I was picturing, the ghouls from Fallout.
Yeah, like super mutants.
Yeah, because she says they're human in name only, and they lope around like hyenas, and they hunt in packs and stuff. And she said they're becoming more and more of them. So, yeah, I don't know how that works. Incidentally, I just finished Helldivers. I think, Jesse, you said you read that book too, right? Dude,
yeah, I've read Helldivers 1.
The sirens are so rad. That's such a cool, I don't know, radiation monster.
Yeah. The word choices are just class tonight. Rad. Indeed, they are in fact very rad. Yep. Enough to set off a Geiger counter.
Yeah. Yeah, so she sees people getting ripped apart. Robotic. So yeah, basically comes up, she explains all that, and then she's like, okay, I got to do a food run because I'm crazy hungry. My like supplies at this workshop that have been sustaining me for 2 years are running a little low. This is a chapter where we learn that the apocalypse has been going on for 6 years, or the world's been over for 6 years. Yeah, so she decides to go on a hunt. So she doesn't know what to do next. She doesn't know where to go, and she's hungry, so she can't think straight. So she wants to go hunt so that she can think better. And so yeah, that's her plan. She's like, let me get all geared up. She goes through her gear. She's got everything inventoried and organized very nicely. Her oldest gears like on her top shelves, and her newer gears down low. So she's like a very organized person, and we see like later on that like her sister is kind of the opposite of her. Like she's kind of ordered and organized, and her sister is wild and messy.
Chaos.
Chaos. Which I'm sure that's probably going to come up in some manner to be more, in your face or whatever. So she has her child books, and I already talked about like how she doesn't want to read them aloud because she doesn't want to forget her father, the memory of her father's voice. So it's just more sadness of her trying to cling to the memory of her loved ones. And this is a chapter where we find out that she had to keep her faith secret, and I don't think her mother ever got around to explaining to her why they had to keep it secret. But I'm just going to assume that the government outlawed religion. Not that
declared war on God. God declares war on everyone.
Or maybe he doesn't declare war. He's just like, fine, I'm just going to peace out. The devil can have you, dude. Maybe something like that. He just lets the guards down. Opens the gate. The themes of loneliness and trying to hold on to memory. I don't know why I read it like that, but anyway, so I feel like to this point for me, I'm like picking up a lot of themes of loneliness, of trying to hold on to memories, and those are kind of competing with like the need to survive. It's there's no like happy theme so far, which is fine.
No.
Which is fine. I'm not, I'm down to read. I mean, it's a post-apocalyptic book. I haven't read too many of those. Actually, the last book I did right before we did Weird Warfare was Watcher of the Damned. Which is also a post-apocalyptic story, and also brutal and messed up and gross. So I think just like you said, doing it from the point of view of the kid is just making things 10 times worse.
Yeah, I will say that this Yuval's work so far has hardened me to other protagonists who, in their own context, their life is terrible. But I'm like, this little girl saw the end of the world. And she only got God and giant robots, but everything else is out to kill her. She's eating sawdust and eating mattress. In the sexual hot
factory. May be bad, but it's not Esther bad.
Esther bad is its own
category.
Luke Skywalker could not hang in Esther's shoes, dude. He's such a whiner. He would have given up at the grocery store, dude.
Cece's my favorite character in Landis D.
Mm-hmm.
But I hated her at first. This kind of retroactively makes book 1 Cece that much more insufferable.
Oh no, yeah, I can see that. I do like Cece. I didn't have a problem with Cece at first, and then I really disliked her in this last one in what was it called? Storm's Eye. And then by the end I liked her again, but I was like, you cocky little bitch, like shut up and just listen to people.
It's funny because the reason I disliked her at first, and I kind of gave her some grace in the last book, it was like, it's a teenager, being ignorant, and then looking up like, she's being a teenager, dude. Like, you gotta figure out how to deal with it. Oh look, here's Cordova. She's like cool, and Ursula's the Black Widow. So.
She had a great arc, dude. I really liked her by that third book. Dude, I thought Cordova was a great character.
Cordova's alright. She definitely seems to be a stand-in for Natasha Kroninsky.
For who?
Natasha Kroninsky. She's the Black Widow in BattleTech.
Oh, okay.
Her initial mech that she's introduced with the Warhammer is very similar in kind of the design layout to the Wolverine. There's kind of this big, chunky thing with like big gun arms.
Yeah.
That primarily fights at long range.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm not a BattleTech guy, so I didn't catch that. Yuval says there is light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a very long tunnel. That's okay, dude. I like a grind, man. I didn't have any issue, dude. I plugged right through the darkness and the misery. I didn't have to take a break on it.
Yuval says there's light at the end of the tunnel, but I'm pretty sure that's just a train coming.
I think it's just nuclear fire. So she leaves to go get food. She doesn't go during the daytime because people can see her. Creatures can see her. So she does nighttime hunts. And we learn, this is where we learn like the natural cycles of day and night are like off and they're deteriorating. Like she has her watch, and she's like, it should be 2 hours till sunset or whatever, but like I can't always trust that. So I'm like, what realm are we in? Are we like in? Because she mentions purgatory. And I can't quite remember how that goes. Like she's glad that she's not in purgatory, I guess. So maybe this isn't purgatory, but it doesn't seem like we're in the material plane. Or maybe we are. Like you said, it's revelations and things have fallen out of the sky.
I mean, it does seem like creation is like unraveling.
Yeah. Maybe
that's what I feel like it is. But it is Earth, but literally on a. I'm trying to find the best way to say it. On a base level, like on a sun and stars physics, like reality itself is slowly unraveling.
Yeah, which sucks, man. It's not fun.
You thought the nuclear fire was going to end.
Yeah.
You get demons.
Yeah. Yeah, then we get to 2-4, and this is like this is why I get kind of excited because I love me some good monsters too. So we get like a little creature feature. We get snippets of her describing like rats that chase their own tails, but their tails have like mouths on them, so they're like fighting their tail.
That's horrible.
What else do they have? Oh, the giant like porcupine dogs. Those sound awesome. Kind of like the description reminds me of that monster from Brotherhood of the Wolf. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but there's like a big wolf creature with like, I don't know, like barbs, something jammed in its back. Yeah. Super rad. So she goes on her hunt. She brings a net, and she goes to this overpass. I guess she goes in an underpass. Underpass. She goes under the road into a little ravine, and she sees these super creepy mutated rabbits with like 3 eyeballs. One's got its like teeth like stuck in a grin, dude. Yeah. Nasty little jackrabbits.
I'll try the rat.
I pictured them looking like the Simpsons fish. So they just their actual eyes are like hanging out of their head.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, they were gross. She's ballsy for eating it, dude. So yeah, she like goes with her net, gets hung up on some like brambles or something, or some branches, and like falls into the little creek, the dried creek, and she gets all cut up, gets kind of tangled. Her headlamp goes flying, light goes off, so she's in the dark, flailing around, and then she manages to like stop and get up, and she's a little tangled up, but she sees that she did get some of the gummy rabbits, I think that's what she calls it, the gummy rabbit, tangled up in her, it's so gross, in her net, and she's like, okay, I gotta, she's very careful not to lose her kill, scoots on back up out of the ravine, she's all banged up, does she chop its head off immediately, or does she wait till, either way, she ends up harvesting it, but on her way out of the creek,
it's already dead.
yeah, but she talks about how she cut it off. Maybe it was later she talks about cutting its head off, and its head like rolled with that grin still on it. Yeah, dude.
yeah, she definitely cut them off outside because I remember the passage. She's like, "Yeah, I wasn't bringing that in the house."
Yeah, and then like as she's like going up getting out of the ditch or whatever, the dried creek, she hears like this disgusting loud wail of rage, and then like the ground starts shaking and like the creek bed is like raising up. So she just gets on her e-bike and just hauls ass back home. Yeah, and then fries up some mutant rabbits, dude. She's like has it in her frying pan, and she's trying to cook it. And she's like rolling it back and forth for like an hour. And it just doesn't look like it's cooking. And then she's like, "Fuck it, let's eat this sumbitch." And she pops them in her mouth, and she's like, chew, gag, swallow. That was dude. I think it'd be better to starve to death than to do that, personally. I don't know. But I guess when you're hungry, maybe you'll do some really, really bad stuff.
Esther bad is its own category. Esther bad.
It'd be a lot of bads, but it ain't Esther bad.
Yeah. I would say, like, and then, like, at the end of that, she finishes eating, and then she's kind of, like, sitting there, and then she just says, "What?" to, like, nobody. She's like, "What?" And then she throws up. Like, maybe she felt it coming, and she's like, "What?" And then vomits.
Shouldn't have eaten the rabbit.
Definitely don't eat the mutant rabbits. That's for sure. I mean, what is she eating though? Like, because she hasn't died, so she has to be eating some kind of game. She has a net. She seems to know how to, do it. So she's been eating some kind of a fauna.
Yeah, Fawn was right.
Getting protein somehow.
I have no idea. Because I think the implication is like, because it's mutated, the radiation makes it harder to cook.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Which still, dude. And then after, like, when we go into the next section of the chapter, like, and she's like puking and seizing and like foamy bile and like hot pricks on her face from, dude. Yeah, has some more hallucinations. Think about it. Does she hallucinate here? I don't remember. I don't think so. I think she's trying to like remember things just to kind of focus her mind like on her family, or like her, like Psalms. I think it's Psalms or just Bible verses. But Yuval says no hot sauce in the apocalypse. A little Tabasco might have squared it away, or some Frank's Red Hot.
I mean, if you can find some, there's got to be some. That's.
I mean,
shit lasts
how many
forever.
MREs are lying around?
Yeah, right.
There's got to be some Cholula around here somewhere.
Man, yeah. So then she I don't know. She's vomiting, seizing, and she I think she kind of gets near getting out of her system or whatever, and then she sees like her night light up on the shelf. So she turns out her regular light, and then she falls asleep to the stars kind of spinning around her room. Which it feels like she's kind of still like clinging on to her childiness, immaturity, whatever. She's like trying to cling to that for comfort.
When I was a child, God hadn't taken away the stars yet.
Yeah, back in my day, we had stars in the sky.
Pried my childhood out of my cold, dead, radiated hands.
Yeah. I didn't notice she has she goes to the forest a couple times, or she mentions the forest I think when she's about to go hunting, and then when she's in her vision, she's like in this forest again, like with her family. It's a happy memory, and then very suddenly becomes not a happy memory, and it's a trippy vision. She loses her sister. Her parents are just gone. I don't remember. I think they're just gone. And then she comes to like a clearing that again has like this octagon shape to it, like the cathedral thing in her last vision. And then there's like a super loud like billow or like a sound from like birds or something. And then the forest scene shifts back to the creek bed, and so she's in the creek bed, the angel's there, and then the demon comes out of the creek bed, and it is like the coolest description of a monster I've ever seen, dude. Like with the faces all over it, and like the rusty chain coming out of the face's mouth to make a little rusty web. Oh my gosh, dude! Yuval, you're sick, dude.
Yeah, the monster design, for lack of a better term, is definitely top tier.
Yeah.
Like, I pictured this thing with the chains, and I was like, alright, that's so freaking cool.
Yeah, dude. Like, I like the way the angel looks. He's like badass, but like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the demon definitely feels like a demon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I like that it's like a canister, like a vessel for all these like damn souls, and like they're trapped in it being tormented, but you can like see their torment like on its carapace or whatever. Dude, that's so rad.
It's the torment can.
Yeah, and then like the symbology with like the chain. Well, coming out of the mouth is just awesomely gross. But yeah, then like being chained, being imprisoned, but as like it's like a spider creature, so the chain's also its web. Super freaking rad.
Well, and that made me think with the rabbits, and I don't know if you guys remember, she talked about earlier that some of the deer were not deer. They were like standing upright.
Yeah.
And moaning.
Like moaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, like human moaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
freaking creepy, dude.
That made me worry, though, is that, like, so the demon had to come from somewhere, right? And it's holding all these damn souls. But we're seeing this evolution in multiple animals where they're starting to become more like human mutation. Every time they mutate, they take on some human aspect. They walk upright and moan, or they have this terrible, awful, more humanist grin that doesn't belong on an animal. Are the damn souls going into the animals? When she ate that rabbit, did she consume something that held a damn soul?
I don't know, dude. If not, that is definitely a really gnarly idea.
Ugh.
Yeah. Don't cook the torment can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, such a cool. I don't even know what to call it. We'll call it demon spider, I guess, with human faces all over it. But yeah, the angel tells Esther that, like, he points to the people that are clearly in agony on this creature's hide. That is God's punishment to them for humanity's mass suicide. And he told her that she's the only one that can stop it and redeem them. So, yeah, sucks to be her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the
All
angel.
the things.
What's that?
Of all the things. Hey, here you go, kid. Merry Christmas.
Figure it out.
Man, I was eating a box of Celios like a week ago.
Oh yeah, she has like that flashback to the chocolate O's or whatever, or Oreo floaty cereal, whatever.
Yeah, sounds like Oreo cereal.
Made me hungry, dude. Oreo O's, such a good cereal. Reese's Puffs are like my favorite cereal, but I don't get them anymore because my kid's allergic to peanuts.
Oh no, tragic.
Yeah, yeah. Friggin' guy.
I'd be like, more for me, but you can't even have them in the house if they have a peanut allergy.
Yeah, we don't even. No peanuts. I eat sun butter instead of peanut butter, which it's not great, but it works. Does the job. The consistency's there at
You
least.
don't like keep a stash out in the shed or something?
You know what I do is I'll go like 'cause we get like the jugs of drinking water from Safeway. I don't know if you guys have Safeway in Georgia, but might be like Vaughn's or something there. But anyway, I go get like the big water jugs, and then like when I go there, I'll get like a little Reese's cup and I'll eat it at the store and like throw it away and then wash my hands and come home with the waters.
There you go.
That's where I get my fix, dude.
That's it. I love Reese's. I would go nuts. Any of my kids ended up with a peanut allergy.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance he could grow out of it. He tests positive for like a whole bunch of potentially allergic to like dairy and almonds and hazelnut and all this other stuff, and he's like passed the oral challenges for everything except for dairy, which they're still confident he's going to grow out of the dairy one. So it's just the peanut one he's got to clear, or we're not necessarily going to do an oral challenge with the peanut because it looks like he's.
He can die. Yeah.
Yeah, he has the way the test came back. It looks like he has a high chance of having a severe reaction. So we don't do that. Everything else was like low risk. That's why we did the oral challenges.
Yeah, I mean with the dairy, like that's just like an enzyme or something.
Well, there's lactose intolerant, and then there's dairy out. It's not the same thing as like lactose intolerant. So like.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
No, it's not. Yeah, so he one time we gave him or during his dairy challenge, he actually started breaking out in hives, like at the very end of it, so like he was counted as a fail. But yeah, dude, I don't know. He's just a silly guy. Like has allergies. I don't know what the deal is.
Might have allergies.
Yeah, right.
But
Have
didn't
allergies.
eat the
Doesn't have Esther
rabbit.
allergies.
Yeah, right. Stop complaining. You know what Esther's going through right now? You can't have peanuts. Oh no.
You're not allergic to Simpson fish rabbit.
Yeah, right. Oh, goodness gracious. So yeah, she has this vision high on gummy rabbit meat, and yeah, she's told that she is the only one that can save them and redeem them. And she wakes up. She kind of thinks about what she's seen. She contemplates, maybe I'll go back to the city because yeah, there's murderers there, but at least they're human. But she's kind of like, what's the point? Like, I'll still be alone. I'll be alive, but with no purpose. So I think she kind of she doesn't really come out and say like, I'm gonna go do what the angel said, but she's like, she's clearly like through her actions, she's decided to kind of heed the angel, and because she starts putting on like she washes herself off. She's gross, super nasty. She takes out some wet wipes and gets all the grime off her body, and then starts like putting on like she has like a sweet armored motorcycle suit, which I don't know why she didn't have that on when she went hunting. Would have helped her out taking that dive that headed her into the ravine. She gets suited up. She's like, I'll grab my assault rifle. It's all tricked out. And she's like, I'll switch over to the shotgun because it's gonna be close quarters in the ravine. So basically, she's like, we know she's going back there to it sounds like, fight that gross spider demon dude. And she looks at, the last thing she says, she looks at Gray Cat, and she's like, no more adventures for you, or something like that. Like, she's leaving him behind. Which I feel is like, maybe she's like, because with the one scene where she clicks the light off so she can see the stars, and then to this scene, maybe like she was kind of trying to hold on to her childhood a little bit to like comfort her, but now she's like, I need to leave that behind and go get to work, so she left the cat behind. I don't know, that's just kind of my guess with that.
I got the same feeling that this was the true end of childhood.
Yeah.
Because if you look at her going to the ravine the first time, her mistakes are childish.
Yeah.
I mean, she's clumsy. She's not really well prepared. She took the bare minimum. Like you said, she had this suit the whole time.
She had the sweet armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, she says when she's like taking her nets out and like trying to undo them, she's like messing it up, and she's practiced it, but now she's sucking at it, so she's like, she can't get her head right.
Yeah, and so it's very the first mistakes are very childish, but now she's taking this much more seriously, and I do believe that specific scene is meant to be kind of the death child.
Yeah. Which is, maybe for her a good thing, because her childhood kind of friggin' sucks, dude.
Yeah,
So
the first, like, 6-8 years, whatever, sound pretty alright.
Yeah, not too bad.
Back half of that's terrible.
Her dad had a sweet tech job designing killer robots, which, that's rad.
Yeah, coolest dad ever.
Hopefully,
My dad sells health insurance. My dad builds giant robots. Your dad is a nerd.
Hopefully her dad didn't contribute to the end of the world, but he probably did. Yuval said, we're getting A+ for attention to detail. I feel like by the time I get done with this book, I'm gonna actually have read it twice, because I read it to enjoy it, and then I go back to like see if I can put notes down and stuff. That's the end of where I read to.
I will say there's a rich history in mecha anime of the robot being designed by the protagonist's mom or dad.
Yeah. I wish you could say, do you have a good example? Because I'm not a huge aficionado of mecha anime.
Gundam, the most famous one. Armor Ray's dad built the Gundam. Not necessarily for him, but just in general. The Amazing Girl series, the crazy scientist is always the protagonist's dad, who builds the potentially evil robot.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I played, but Gears of War, it's not a mech thing, but like Gears of War, I remember Marcus's dad was a scientist, but I don't remember what exactly his work was. I know it was important, but I don't know if it had to do with the locusts.
Yeah, he was studying them and ended up developing the serum they use at the end to try and destroy them all. But the locusts were kind of made.
Yeah.
That's a whole. I'm not gonna take this in the whole Gears of War. There's a program that were proto-locusts, and the proto-locusts were, I think his father was involved in the project.
Now, have you read the Gears of War books, or is that from the? I played the first 3 games, which are fantastic, but I haven't read any of the books. I actually just realized there were books just a little bit ago.
The Slab, which is Marcus in prison, fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, put it on the
I
list.
highly recommend that one.
All right, sounds good, dude. Gears of War, The Slab. It's on the list. Yeah, well, that's all I read, dude. That's as far as I got. I know you read a little bit farther ahead, but we'll save that for next week.
I'll save that for you.
Yeah. I will say my prediction. Don't spoil it for me because we haven't got there yet. People in the chat. Her dad put in some kind of backdoor in the big robots to protect Esther. And probably also marry him realistically, except she got incinerated by the bomb.
Yeah. Should we just, let's see, what page? Let me look at the page range real quick here. Deadlands, that sounds nice. Should we go to the end of chapter 4, which is page 88 in my Kindle? Might be different in yours, I don't know. Basically, read up to part 2, which is all That's like the last thing of Esther.
Let me just check my table of contents before I. That's not contents. That's annotations.
Oh, you guys still there? Just glitched out on me.
I was just waiting on y'all.
Okay.
I'm good with that pager ring.
Okay, sweet.
I am too.
Yuval says Gears 2 Horde mode is some of the most fun I ever had playing games. I don't know if I played a lot of the Horde mode. I did see Space Marines 2 just got, but they keep glitching out. All right. What is going on?
Streamlabs.
Is it Streamlabs? I don't know.
Your experience is terrible.
We're playing music. We're playing musical screens.
Yeah, you guys just switched screens, so now your name tags are switched. Oh well. Yeah, well, I think once my yearly subscription is up with this, I'm gonna switch to like StreamYards or something.
Well, there's just stuff missing here. Like I should be able to see the chat. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't see
you guys.
chat
That's
either.
why I never talk to you. Can't see you.
I wonder if that's something I can change.
Sorry, chat.
I don't even know settings. Let me look at the collab cam. See if there's something I can. Webcam source, share video source, microphone source. Nope. I'll Google it and see if there's a way I can do it. And I just don't know what I'm doing.
Not the host. No chat for you.
Yeah, I just recently figured out how to make it so we can talk like in the starting. While the starting soon screen is up, and then we're over in the in this screen. I just figured out how to make it so the chat can't hear us during that until we switch over. So I'm slowly learning all the different features of this software. But yeah, guys, good book club. That was fun. This book is very depressing. Thank you, Yuval. Excited to have you on next week, so you can tell us, what's going on with you.
If we're right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then.
I hope you didn't have to eat sawdust.
Yeah, right. But yeah, dude, thanks everyone in the chat for coming in. Thank you guys for coming on and reading this book and talking about it. This is great, man. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. See you next week.
Sounds good.
Okay, later.
All right. Later.